Hey, welcome back to the Chum. I'm Jennings Moss with the Upstart Business Journal. This is our weekly show that's all about Shark Tank, the biggest business deal, the best pitch, and the most valuable business lesson that you can get each week from watching Shark Tank on ABC. Let's get right to it. The best deal of the night that went to Roominate, a toy company created by Alice Brooks and Bettina Chen. They were friends at Stanford who met in engineering school. They wanted to be able to encourage girls to think about engineering, to be excited by it. Kind of a similar idea and concept as other companies like Goldilocks, for example. The thing about Roominate is that they've been able to show really impressive sales numbers since 2012 for their line of toys, which gave them an eye-popping $6 million valuation, according to the young women. They were looking for $500,000 for 5% of the company, and they got it in a joint deal between two sharks, Mark Cuban and Lori Grenier, with one caveat. Mark wanted to make sure that his two young daughters could go work for them as interns, learn about their business. Mark was concerned about his daughters feeling a sense of entitlement. He wanted them to know about work. So really impressive on Mark's part, and a great deal for the Roominate team. Congratulations. Now the story of the night has to go to Tig Chiriga. Tig is an immigrant entrepreneur who came from Zimbabwe, now lives in Morrisville, North Carolina. And Tig had a problem, or more accurately, Tig's wife had a problem, which was that every time Tig would set down a cup of coffee, it would leave a ring on the table. So Tig set out and created something which would be a coffee mug that floated over its own coaster, so no ring. Appropriately enough, he called his company the Floating Mug Company. The Sharks liked his story. They certainly liked Tig. The problem was that they thought that it was either going to be a novelty item or that he was going to expand his inventory way too much in order to bring his price point down. Tig tried to stop them and said, look, you got to think about this as a proof of concept. And then he pulled out this other thing that he was working on, which was a glass that would hold its own condensation. Again, pretty cool. And he had a patent on one and a patent pending on the other. Still, he couldn't get any sharks to bite. He was looking for for $75,000 for 15% of the company. He walked away with nothing. Hopefully he got some good PR so that he can make some sales for this holiday season. Now, lastly, our valuable business lesson of the evening has to go for the Wedding Wagon, which is a concept, kind of a cheeky concept done by two entrepreneurs in Las Vegas. They have a van, they got a guy that can perform weddings, they go off and they do mobile weddings. Kind of fun, right? They wanted to franchise this around the country, but they ran into two problems here, and these are two valuable lessons. One, proof of concept. I know we've talked about that already a lot on the Chum, but it's important. In this particular case, they got rid of their proof of concept, which you cannot do. You need to hold it, you need to continue it, you need to grow it. That's your calling card. Make sure that it's sound, make sure that that's the thing that people are going to recognize and say, wow, you can do this. And secondly, if you come up with an idea that you want to franchise, probably best to do something that other people cannot easily do. In this particular case, all you really needed to do is to get a wedding certificate, officiating certificate off of the internet, have some means of transportation, and boom, you could do mobile weddings, thereby not having to pay these guys the $25,000 franchise fee, which is what they were looking for. That's it. That's the Chum Shark Tank episode 602. Come back with us next week. In the meantime, for a daily fix of entrepreneur and startup news, check out the upstartbusinessjournal.com. Thanks.